Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And this is a surprise live. I had a surprise opening in my schedule. So I thought, well, I'm here in front of the computer, so I might as well jump on. And I know that there's a lot of individuals having intensified ascension symptoms right now. A lot of old traumas coming up, things to do with ancient past, things that you don't even think that really bothered you before are coming up, and um, kind of PTSD style, like flashbacks, moments from a time long forgotten, thought that you had no longer any use for being concerned or time need to look at these things. And here we are, all of a sudden, these things are coming up. I've recently used the example that it feels kind of like a life review. It feels kind of like, all of those different things that are coming up, um, that would come up if you had started to transition into a new dimensional frequency in life. Um, where you're shown all the different things that had occurred in your life, and you see what it felt like for the other individuals and so on. This kind of thing is what a lot of people are sensing and feeling, as well as myself. I'm noticing these things popping up, and it's like, well, what's that doing there? Why would that even bother me? Well, I kind of wanted to mention it in particular to say there is a reason. There is a reason. It's to remind us things happened. If you have an understanding, a why to it, there's a reason, a cause, then and kind of getting an understanding from all perspectives and the story, then it's easier to let go of that baggage, the things that are holding us down. Spirit likes to call it, or use the reference, it looks kind of like rocks or stones that we put in this duffel bag. The visual they show me, it looks like a old potato sack from an earlier time, and one stone after another. After a while, you find that it's difficulty to float, and each one of these things need to be seen and resolved, looked at, so we can then move through and go past it. So there's a lot of that coming in. uh, the planetary alignment, that the parade of planets is already underway. Yeah, the all of the planets aren't already in sync, but we have the vast majority of them. Um, Not all of them can you see with the naked eye, though. It's best to see right after the sun sets, by the way, local time. So wherever you are, no matter where on the planet you're at, you're able to see the planets all lining up in a row. It's really cool. Um, and before it's all done, I know a lot of people aren't really talking about this. Of course, it peaks on the 25th, between the 25th and the 27th. Um, but most people aren't talking about the fact that there are other planets that we don't under aren't shown, are in our solar system as well. you know all of these, what they call dwarf planets, so we'll stop talking about them or stop noticing them as much. um, and not just Pluto is a dwarf planet, but also Carmen. Oh, random live, yeah. Hi, buddy. I should click it so you can see what. um, is that there's other dwarf planets. We have a lot of them, and that totals 17. I think 17, might be 18 planets in our solar system. We have Ceres, we have Maki Maki, we have um, a lot of different planets. Those are my two favorite. That's why I mention them so frequently. So anyway, they're all lining up, man. This is a super rare thing happening. So, as this is occurring, a lot of people are feeling an increased experience with ascension symptoms. We're feeling more intensely. We're feeling more discomfort, as our body's shifting and resolving these areas of that stuck energy, basically, as we ascend. Remember that a lot of our ascension symptoms are a result of dormant DNA coming out of dormancy. So I'm going to say hello to everybody. Thank you all for coming. Hello, Robin of the Elves. I just always love saying your name. It's just so eloquent and beautiful. I love your name. Leah, good to see you, sweetie. I'm so happy to see you. I've been wondering about you. Christy, hi there. I literally found your post right at 1:14. Thank you. That's so perfect. That's actually when I had it set to go live, right? It was one of those that I had someone schedule that I knew last night. I had this sensation. I knew that I didn't think they were going to make it. I hadn't had any correspondence to say that they weren't going to make it. It just, you just know sometimes. Anyway, but I thought, well, if they don't show up, I'll go live. And well, here I am. Excuse me. So I already had I waited for a while. I wanted to be sure she had time to come in case she was coming. But I already had a thumbnail made thinking, okay, well, I'll go live. Robin the L's 100%. Yeah, dude, lots of stuff coming up right now. Lots of, and an increased physical sensation. Like, I'm noticing like the top of my head all the way down to like between the shoulder blades. And I'm not saying that's a whole strip of uncomfortable sensation. It's like there's pockets of uncomfortableness. Like I actually felt like I had a bruise almost at the top of my head, and there's something going on here in this area. I know that I highlighted a little while ago. I've lost track of when I've been live and what I've said in groups. However, the energetic wings. Oh yeah, I was live at that time. But the energetic wings are coming in a lot more than they ever were before. Energetic wings are something that it's one of those things when you say it, it's like, well, let's explain it because there's so much expectation that people will be like, what, but there really is something going on here. And when you pull back and use your energetic eyes and see the energy in it, it looks like a figure eight that crosses in between your shoulder blades, the first set. And there's also a set underneath that. And many, not everybody, have a third set also that's below that. Usually there's a space about as wide as all of your fingers. And it's different based on how the body is. So how if you look at your arm from the middle of your elbow on this side to your hand or to your wrist, that's how long your foot is. There's all these different ways to measure your body, and we have this symmetry that happens in our form. The same is true for your wings. So your wings are going to be, each wing is going to be twice as high, as long as you are tall, and you're going to have a space between each set of wings as wide as your fingers, as there are four fingers. Everybody's fingers are different widths, and that shows what's Hayes 222. And so if you kind of follow that train, you kind of understand what's happening there. How to help yourself is with energetic wings, allowing yourself to be in your breath. And when you breathe in the light, the loving white light of God, and breathe out, when you breathe out through your mouth, allow yourself to kind of like push that breath. And when you do, you're pushing the energy out through that spot, and it cycles around like an infinity symbol, a figure eight, like this. So that does help. I'm assuming other people are having those experiences right now, because typically when I'm having ascension symptoms, I was told by spirit that I'm called a pre-waver. I don't know if they just made that up, but it explains to me what I'm doing, what my job, my role here is. And so often when I feel sensation, a lot of people are doing it. So good to see you, Deborah. Welcome. Aaron, I haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. I also want to give a shout out to Chef Deb. I just saw as I was coming on your generous donations, and I just want to say thank you. I really super duper appreciate that. We have been, all of us, everybody has been in different situations lately when it comes to a variety of things, and right now financially, and so I just want to say that you really helped this single mom out a lot. So Chef Deb, thank you very, very much. That really changed everything for us, so I really appreciate that. I only am saying that because she posted it on Facebook. So it's not like, it was like private. people who post on my PayPal, and I don't typically do a shout out to them because I don't know if they want to stay private. And I'm so aware of people's desire to not have like themselves put in the limelight that I won't typically. Though those of you who have done that, I want to say thank you. I really do appreciate it very, very much. Um, Robin says, Robin of the Elves, I just had a significant healing due to a past life tie in with my physical symptoms. Interesting. Once I felt into it and saw everything, it shifted noticeably. I'm so happy for you. Yes, this is the basis of Dolores Cannon's work. What she's talking about here is exactly what we're the whole thing. The we connect. Our emotional bodies are connected to physical areas of our physical form, and so we will have sensations that shout at us as a way of pointing at it to say this needs to be resolved, this something needs attention, please. And it's just like that child in the grocery store that's getting louder and louder and louder because they want something, right? Same is true for your body. Once there isn't it's not being noticed or addressed, it gets louder and turns into a physical sensation. um, Eastern philosophy acupuncturists have known this forever, and you can actually still look it up. I know I've said this multiple times. I'm going to say it again. That if you notice a specific area of your body flaring up or feeling uncomfortable, it does really help to look it up, to say what emotion is connected to fill in the blank. What area of your body you're talking about. You know, a lot of people for a while now have been talking about the liver. Liver is anger. More specifically, it's fear. Yes, fear is a byproduct of anger, or excuse me, anger is a byproduct of fear. All things started either in the love area, the part of the spectrum, or the fear part. And then the spectrum in between are all the different emotions. And, so any emotion, any experience that you're having is rooted in one of the other. And sometimes it's both, when you're somewhere in the middle. Close to fear, right after fear, you have anger. And so when people speak out of anger, usually they're in a place of fear. And, I know that's a difficult thing to say to somebody when they're angry. I'm not saying they use this against someone or anything like that, but it's good to know. Anyway, we're moving past the use of this really intensified fear paradigm. As you can see in the world around you, everything is shouting out, trying to get everybody to be afraid. I don't know if you've noticed this. Everything's like, it's like they did the first real uptick or attempt at it during the lockdown window of time in 2020, and following that time. And there's a variety of other things that have been occurring recently that they're doing it for other reasons, or using other reasons to elicit fear and that experience for people. What's actually occurring is we are beings who are speakers of love, all of us, all of you. We are beings of light and love, and we've come here as speakers of love that have chosen to begin to speak the language of the place that we're at, to speak the language, like when in Rome kind of an idea, right? And we've forgotten how to speak with love as much until now. Now, as we as a collective, as a species, as a world population, have finally reached that heart chakral space where for so long everyone was staying no higher than their solar plexus. And then once everyone reached up to their heart chakral space, then there's no longer a need to process the anger as much. And so what's left behind is all of this residual fear and anger that is being processed. And as a result, people are noticing their liver, a lot of liver stuff, and so I'm not a doctor. Of course, I feel like I have to say this, that I should. If you feel like you need to go see a doctor, that's your deal. Do it. I can tell you right now that this is a way to resolve, the bulk, if not all, of what we're noticing to have happen in our physical bodies. And so um, there's always an emotional underlying cause, and um, for everything. Lyra, thank you. Same here. Lots of clearing going on. Yes, dude. There's so much happening. Oh my goodness. Uh, Hello, Leona. Love and blessings to you, Mila, and all on chat from Australia. These solar flares, CMEs, and the Schumann resonance certainly are challenging lately. I have needed more magnesium as of late. Yeah, that's a really good point. Thank you for bringing up the magnesium. Anyone who doesn't utilize magnesium, there's a lot of ways to use it. Um, Being responsible, kind of just check your own whatever it is, however you've accessed it. Everybody's got different means. Some people ingest it, some people use it as foot soaks or bath soaks. There's a bunch of different things, so just kind of be aware. But yeah, our bodies need magnesium, we need salt, we need water, and those are really the main things that we need. Air, and like all of this other stuff that we I'm noticing I've been fasting again. As many of you know, I do intermittent fasting. That means I don't eat breakfast or lunch, though I'll eat dinner, time frame wise. So, breaking your fast means breakfast, right? Or that's what breakfast means. But anyway, um, except for lately, I just don't really feel like eating anything. I have no appetite, and I just don't feel like I need to right now. So I'm really not. Like I snacked a little bit just because I don't know. Like, and then just as soon as I was just taking a bite of something, I'm just like, I just really want to just spit it out. It's not because it's gross. It's just my body doesn't want to have it. So anyway. Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you, Deborah. The neck thing. Boy, feeling this in the neck, stiff neck. Yeah. And along with what Leona was saying regarding the solar activity and the Schumann, and you can follow this stuff really close, really easily. I feel like that it's also inspired. This neck stuff is inspired. A lot of it is anyway by this increase of CME energy. We have this massive, I don't know how many of you follow the sun and watch that. There's this massive, massive spot, and it's earth facing. And well, it's like it can't not be because it's so big. It's like humongous. And I'm kind of waiting to see what that's going to do. That's really interesting. See what's going to happen there. Hello, Car. Good to see you. Morning, beautiful ones. Strange dreams. Yes, Deborah. Dream time has been off the charts. So bizarre. All kinds of weird stuff going on with dreams. Sleep has been weird. Like, we just went through a time where I was just super exhausted and we slept. Like that's what I wanted to do. That was my new hobby. We just wanted to sleep. And it wasn't me. It was everyone in my family. We were all like just super tired. And now I guess I'm still tired, but I'm waking up abruptly early. For me, I don't know, how many of you know this, but I'm really very much a night owl. I stay up. I got to the point recently where I was staying up till like 7 o'clock in the morning or even later. The sunrise photos I post, those are me still awake, and then just the past since Wednesday, since the day I did that show, Germany. And those of you who missed that was such a cool show. Sharmy and Sven, they came on their partnership has lasted 16 years, and it was just really a lovely conversation. So any of you who've missed it, I encourage you to go back and watch it. It's available on replay. It was really fun. But that day that we had that show was the day that I woke up like super early. And I'm like, okay, odd. And Charmony had said that she too had done the same thing. It was just very interesting. And then every day since has been that way. Like all of a sudden, it's like, okay. However, still though, the sleep time stuff, 2, 3, 4, the sleep, I don't obsessively look at the clock, by the way. I just happen to look to notice. And so that's the synchronicity of it. Anyhow, yeah, so the dream stuff, we're also getting a lot more downloads in dream time. I'm waking up frequently, though not waking up enough to really be awake. just in the middle of all kinds of stuff, interactions, information coming in, resolving things that I didn't need to be resolved. Pardon me. Pardon me. Um, uh, and then just all of these different things playing out to kind of help me resolve these issues from an earlier time in life that I actually didn't realize were something to look at. Going back to what I had said at the beginning of this, like a lot of old stuff from a long time ago coming up to say, hey, let's heal this now, and showing me multiple perspectives of it. Like I'm able to look at it almost without emotion in some way and see why, instead of feeling the embarrassment or the anger or whatever it is for the specific thing that I'm looking at. I'm able to look at it in an objective way and say, oh, I see why that occurred. And there's no hard feelings. Now I can let that go. Or I would no longer have a use for that thing that I was concerned about, losing at that time, or something like that, a lot of things like this. But mostly the downloads, that information that's happening in dream time, is self-awareness and in a higher frequency perspective. So it's really interesting. Lots more astral travel at nighttime. I don't know how many of you are noticing you wake up and you're like, man, I got a full 8 hours of sleep, but I feel like I got 2. What happened? Well, a lot of us are, wow, earring going on for that one right now. Yeah, just that's due to us working. We're still busy. We're actively engaged in a lot of places while we're in sleep time. Hello, Lavender Sky Panther. Good to see you. Happy Friday surprise live. Nice. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It worked out perfect to be able to come on today. Barbara says Kundalini yoga is super helpful right now. Awesome. Thank you so much for saying that, Barbara. Kundalini yoga is a really useful tool. There's a lot of different kinds of things that are coming up, and there are things laughing. Laughing yoga is one of my favorite things to do. If you can find somebody to laugh with, even if you're not with another person, you can still just start laughing. Just get yourself laughing. And then start noticing how silly it is that you're laughing. Kind of like that laughing in church thing, or trying not to laugh in church and you end up laughing really hard. If you can do this with another person, it will last longer. Like I'll do with my kiddo. We will go on for to the point where your face hurts, your stomach hurts, and you're just got tears streaking down your face. It's just really cool. It's super helpful. Good to see you, Janet. Yeah, it actually has a lot of healing benefits, physical healing benefits. I remember discovering it back in the Y2K window of time. Y2K, by the way, y'all, there's something going on with this. Y2K was the end of 1999 into 2000. And I know a lot of you remember it. Some of you weren't around for it, and that's okay. However, Y2K, for some reason, and that was 27 years ago, Y2K's come back. The 27-year cycle, that's the 369 if you go in the progression of this. And you'll find that there's a lot of repeat, a lot of things that happened or were happening in Y2K time frame that are happening again. And so I'm just finding this really fascinating. I don't know if anybody else is tuned into that. So that's just something really interesting. Hi, so glad you're live. Thank you, Stephanie. Good to see you. Thank you for the love. Shelly, good afternoon, Pamela. Been enjoying these bliss energies, and so jazzed about what's been happening. Been feeling the vibrations too. Awesome, Shelly. Yeah, for the most part, my energy is like super pumped. Like I'm like, I feel like just so full of love and so energized. Like I just almost giddy with it. And yeah, there are the moments of like, my kind of crash these days are more of like indifference, I guess is my word. I don't really find it to myself to be too in the dumps about anything anymore. But that does happen on occasion, you know. For the most part, though, I've been in this blissful state. It's been really fascinating and just kind of like, doo doo doo. It's really cool. I'm glad you're feeling it too. Um, What spirit tells me is right now is the time for rapid healing. So, a global purge is occurring for all of us. All people here incarnated in this planet now are going through a global purge. Purging doesn't only mean about a physical in a physical way. Yeah, we are also purging variety of things, toxins and parasites from our bodies, letting these things be removed from our physical forms because they were holding us back. Maybe they weren't before, but they are now. But there's more to it. We're also purging these things, these old ideas, the old ideals. We're purging um, identifiers of who we are, limitations that we've surrounded ourselves with. We're purging um, belief systems, things that we've believed in and been taught to believe in, and that we're finding out are not only false, but they were specifically designed to hold us back. A variety of things like this are being purged right now. And so during this window of time where we're having this global purging occurring, we're also noticing a sudden sense of upliftment as a result of purging these things. When these moments come in, a lot of times what we have been taught to do is resist, ignore, deny, look away, and so it doesn't hurt so bad. Like, what do you do when something hurts? You pull away from it, you recoil from it. That's a natural response. However, doing this with anything to do with emotional body trauma is actually contrary to what's assisting you in any way. And so, if we lean into the pain, if we lean into the discomfort, then immediately it begins to resolve itself. It's same with sadness. I was somebody who was chronically depressed for the vast majority of my life until Archangel Michael told me to lean into it. I didn't do it the first few times. I tried. I think I did. I think I tried. I don't know. It's hard to tell anymore looking back. However, I finally did do it. And I just embraced the sadness. And that didn't mean that there was any behavior associated with it. I just leaned into the sensation. And as I did so, all of a sudden, it became a euphoric sensation. It was my body felt there was a physical euphoria, a sensation associated with it, as well as an emotional one. And I purged it. One way to utilize it the way I was taught by Archangel Michael was to utilize my belief in gravity. Ever since he said it that way, your belief in gravity has made me wonder what gravity is, but I haven't gone much farther into that subject. However, my belief in gravity meant that I would lay on my back. This is my body laying on my back. And as the energy of sadness was coming down on top of me, I would typically try to resist it. Instead, I just accepted it. And so it would move down into me like this, right? And then it would come out through my back, the back of my body, like roots of a tree. And I would let it dig. And I found too that the energy of my body was then also moving into the ground as roots of a tree to dig. On the outside of the energy of my body, the energy that was part of me, there was still a residual aspect of this sadness, and it was being exfoliated off by Gaia herself as I dug. I let it just move through. So it was like it would go through me like this. And then I would rise up from this sadness. And what was left behind was a euphoric sensation and so many understandings and so much wisdom and so much came in as a result of it. The suddenly I was balanced and in joy. And that's how I learned to resolve trauma, or not trauma specifically, because trauma has its own thing. Each traumatic thing has its own desire. But yes, leaning into all of it is the answer to anything that the question that's posed in regard to these things. So I kind of went on about that for a little bit, but that was a kind of an important topic, because a lot of people are noticing these things coming up right now. Barbara says, anyone with nerve sensation on the left side of the neck and shoulder. Yes, and very specifically the left side, Deborah, is where I'm noticing the most difficulty. I did have it like in my clavicle, what do they call this? I can't remember the layman word for, I had some time in the medical world. And that's this bone right here is like the clavicle, so that thing. That's anyway. Um, this just at the end of the clavicle on my right side, I did notice something else happening a couple days ago, but most of it's been the left side, the divine feminine side. So it's very interesting. Um, we are anchoring a lot of aspects of the divine feminine right now in ways that has not been done in 3 galactic years. So that's like, 76,000 years or something like that, 75 something. I think that a galactic year is 25,600 and something or other, so, and people usually round up and say 26,000. The galactic year is also the cycle of the waves of awakening. There have been 3, and we're in the 3rd one, the biggest one right now. There's a lot of really cool information that's out there about this, but that was the download that I got. That was bounced. That was also then validated by, then I listened to some of the law of one raw channelings. Cara, amazing. I had been feeling my wings a lot lately. Awesome. Yeah, so all you gotta do is do the breath thing, and just notice them, and then let the flow happen, like in an infinity symbol. It really helps it. That's really cool. Christy says, my back has been itching so much. I keep asking my husband to scratch my wings. Yeah, there you go. A lot of stuff about that coming in right now. Thank you. Aaron, thank you, Mila. It's been a long time since I last caught you live. It's good to see you. I've missed you. I have. I've noticed you gone. Vegan Vixen. Hey, guys. Hope you're all good. Good to see you, Granny. I can't remember what you called yourself. She just had a grandchild. How's that going? Hi, Vegan. Everybody's saying hello to Vegan. Yes, neck, ear, shoulder, left side too. Yep, dude. That's right. Deborah saying the same thing. That was set up here by Deborah. Or no, yeah, Deborah and Barbara. There we go. Thank you. Amanda, I have been feeling like I am experiencing multiple timelines at once or something. I struggle to describe it, but making it harder to function in the matrix world. Yeah, dude, I totally get what you're talking about. You know what? I really do. And I'll bet everybody in the audience also resonates. Anyone who's here now and who will watch this later on. Yeah, it's really surprising how big of a deal it is. So what I was told and given by Spirit, and there's actually these meditations, I post them in the Telegram group. They're free. And so is the Telegram group. If anyone's interested, the link's in the description of this video. I post them there because it's easy. I don't have to create a video out of it. I can just post the audio that way. Anyway, in this, I'm always in a channeling state. So I don't, it's not a script. I don't plan what I'm going to do. I just show up and I have an intention, and I let the people, the energies who come forward and with the intention to heal and to uplift and to assist, to take the steering wheel, and I kind of step aside. And what we were shown is that this multiverse concept of us is what they called it was, they said it was sloppy. And that what we're actually meant to do is we're actually meant to merge, so as if you look at my background, you see all these spheres, all these circles, and they're all meant to converge and to become one. And so as we're doing that, there's different ones playing out simultaneously, and it's super duper bizarre. And there's no proof. There's no proof to say to anyone who isn't, fully aware of what's going on, to say, because where you are now is what it looks like now. So you don't have something from the place that you came from to show it. It's, I guess I'm having a hard time articulating it as well, though, Amanda, I totally get what you're talking about. Yeah, it's kind of disorienting. Random live, love this morning, Mila. Good to see you, Elsa. Live her liver when I joined too. Funny. Oh, interesting. I was talking about the liver when you joined. Yeah, dude, a lot about the liver. And also a buildup of like a Buddha belly kind of stuff, having a lot of water collected around the belly, the lower torso area. This has been a really common thing, and is associated with this as well. Water flows where light must glow. And so that's why our body swells when we're in discomfort. When we hurt something, it swells, and then we put our hand on it to help accelerate the healing. And so that's actually what's happening right now for a lot of people. Vegan Vixens is saying, Amanda's the same thing. I know what you mean. It's been like in the world, but not of it. Weird, I know. And there's a lot of homesick people having experience with this right now. A lot of people feeling like they're ready to be done. Like when these UFOs are coming around, they're just kind of like, take me home. I'm so done. And there's more to it than that as well. There's not just homesickness, but then also this just mournful sensation, because we're leaving behind this identity, this frequency that, yeah, it may have not been the most beautiful or in alignment energy that we've been in all this time, through however many lifetimes you've been in. Typically, when people sign up to come here, it's been for a galactic year, which is 26,000 years, right? I might have said that wrong, but anyway, yeah, 26,000. However, throughout all of those different life cycles, we still were in the same kind of frequency. It was a lower frequency, and we, though it sucked, we got used to it. We knew what it was going to be like. We knew the horrors of each day, and you could kind of plan on it. And then now we're leaving those things behind. And yeah, there's a joyful, excited celebration about it. But there's also this mournful thing. It's like we're saying goodbye to predictability. We're saying goodbye to who you've been all this time. So if you're sensing this mournful sensation, then know you're not alone. The answer to that always is, like I said before, lean into it, experience it, let yourself feel it. It doesn't have to be logical. Emotions typically are not. Just ask any Spock, fan. They'll tell you how emotions are illogical. Though it's something that needs to be felt for it to go, whether or not it is logical. Just feel it. It doesn't have to be explained. Good afternoon, me. This is Maria. The universe kept showing me that what needed healing, but I wasn't listening until I saw something in a video that I put it together. I've been healing my nervous system lately, which is what needed healing. Once I started doing that, it won't let me, but I can see the rest of it over here. On Facebook, you can write longer. Once I started doing that, I was able to see what the universe was trying to tell me. That's so cool. I'm so glad that you were able to come to the understanding of it. A lot of downloads and understanding coming in, Lily. I see that Elsa jumped from Facebook to YouTube. Hi, sweetie. It's good to see you. Yeah, it's so interesting that when you joined, I was talking about the liver. And actually, what's more is I was actually thinking about our conversations regarding livers when I said that. And then you were just coming on. That's really cool. Got a little congestion going on right now. A lot more mucus. A lot of people are talking about the mucus that's coming out and getting. I'm glad that it's leaving. It's good for the mucus to go. Yes, on taking more magnesium, it helps. I also do fasting and usually one meal a day. I'm just not hungry. Food tastes so different too, and not always enjoyable. Totally feel you, man. It's weird. And it's just more dry and more work than you want to do. It's like, I don't know. I've gotten to the point where you almost want to kind of drink your food, but then you also don't really want to anything. It's weird. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Amanda's. Good to see you, Gina. Elsa says, break fast, break the feast, the spot. Thank you, Elsa. Yeah, dude. We're starting to figure some stuff out about that. Yucky stomach. Okay, this is something I've heard a few people talk about. They're struggling with. I kind of had it a little bit, but mostly it's just I just don't have an appetite. It's not like my stomach's really off. It just doesn't feel like it wants anything. But a lot of people, okay, Deborah says yes though. Yes, vegan. I relate to that too. Yucky stomach. A lot of people have talked about that. I've gotten a surprising number of emails and correspondence about that lately. Stomach. And everybody has their awareness and their ability to connect to their body and to be very aware exactly the spot that they're addressing. And some individuals who are extra sensitive are always have been saying that it's the top of the stomach, right at the top where the stomach meets the esophagus, which I find really fascinating because this is the area that is connected to the esophageal highway that Spirit had talked to me about, where it connects the golden yellow chakra with the throat chakra, the sky blue chakra. So it's really interesting that this is the area that you're all talking about. Knowing what chakral regions they are often help us. Color therapy is utilized in a lot of different ways. It doesn't always mean that you have to eat or drink the things that are that color. You can just simply have water in a cup or some type of vessel that's that color. That typically helps, or wear that color of clothing. That helps too. There's a lot of different ways of going about it. Having the being, the light of that color. People use light color therapy a lot. It really does help. But mostly, I think that a lot of us are being guided to fast right now. Like our bodies are just saying, let's just not eat for a little bit. Elsa says, yes, kids having so many dreams that they remember. So important messages too, or for us. Take notes. Yeah, dude, I'm learning again. I stopped doing it where I used to keep a notebook next to my bed, and then I stopped doing it again because there's so much coming in these days. Another thing that you can do if you have like a voice recorder, that was a really useful way to take notes as you're waking up, that we don't wake all the way up and lose the dream. You can also use a voice recorder in your phone if you keep your phone next to your bed. This really helps. Then you don't have to worry about turning on the light and being able to see to write. Even when you're trying to write on your phone, it still has the light of the phone. It just wakes you up. If you can, leave voice notes, then go back to it. It'll re-inspire all the memory of the entire dream, and you can remember all the rest and fill in the blanks. It's kind of cool. Amanda, nothing makes sense, but you guys always make sense to me. Thank you. I'm so glad, Amanda. Welcome. I mean, I'm glad that you're here, is what I meant by saying welcome. Yeah, it's coming back family when we connect, man. I feel that way so much. Like when we connect, then it's like, okay, now we all know that we're okay. Everyone else is going through this. Now you can drop the fear and go back to the bliss, go back to the important stuff. Leona, yes, bizarre dreams and strange sleeping patterns. It's like going into another reality and having conversations with other beings, mainly human, just exhausting, waking up feeling wiped out. Yeah, me too. I've been having this has been really interesting, is that there'll be moments where they're beings that are not exactly human. They're humanoid typically. And then they'll let me know that they're going to become more comfortable for me. And then they become somebody else. Then they look like somebody else. Like it makes it so it's more palatable, I guess. Then you feel like you're actually talking to, and usually it's like somebody who's, like been on a show I used to watch when I was little, or movie or something. It's really bizarre. It's kind of interesting. Vegan Vixen, me too. Funny timey last 24 hours. So there's some more people saying, yeah, I feel like, so this is what happens is once you start to learn to talk to your body, like your body will tell us, will remind us to not, like eat certain things at certain times, right? And then all of a sudden you'll find at whatever given moment, there's suddenly um, no longer a desire to eat. It's just you just lose your appetite. Sometimes it's a result of having like a feeling nauseated or just, no appetite. And then if you look at what's actually happened later on, if you look through the rearview mirror kind of style, hindsight, right, you'll see that there was actually some super big event energy wise that was occurring that your body was preparing for, just like the people. You'll see this throughout many cultures that when they're preparing for a spiritual ceremony of some type, that they'll go through a period of fasting. That we're just it's it's a way to prepare the body to release all the stuff that's kind of getting in the way, um, and all kinds of different things. And this has just been true for me for so long that every time I notice that I don't have an appetite, I then think, okay, what's going to happen? Do I know? And I do know of some things. Spirit has told me for a while between the 17th and the 25th. That's when, because I am a very hypersensitive person when I'm in crowds, they have guided me to, because I asked the question, the answer was that was the week that I ought to not go out and be in large groups of people because I am so hypersensitive. It is difficult for me, you know, and we're about there. Well, actually, today is the 17th. I just realized that. So we're here now. So between the 17th and the 25th. Um, and I know that the peak of the planetary alignment is on the 25th. The 25th. There's also a handful of things. There's a conjunction of Venus and Saturn on the 20th. The cluster NGC2516 is well placed. So we'll be able to see this cool cluster that we don't typically get to see. There's a lunar occultation of Spica. The moon is at apogee. Like there's a bunch of different things that are occurring during that particular day. Oh, that's also politically speaking something too. There's an inauguration happening that day. It's also observed as Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So there's probably going to be most people are going to be at work or school that day. There's a lot happening. If you look through the calendar, close approach of Venus and Saturn tomorrow. And this alignment that I had talked about earlier and that everybody's talking about is already underway. Yeah, it peaks on the 25th through the 27th, but it's still, happening now. We have like, I think, seven of the 8 in alignment right now. And you can see this at sunrise, or excuse me, at sunset, wherever you are, your local time. This is also, there's a lot of other things about this. Like this is the year of completion. If you look at numerology, 2 + 0 + 2 + 5, we have a 9. 9 is completion. There's also, a couple other things too. We're coming up to the 29th. This is the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. And this will be the year of the wood snake. We're sloughing off the skin of things that don't serve us. We're letting go of the identities that we have associated ourselves with and have limited us. There's a lot going on, guys. There's also a meteor shower, the Ursa Minor meteor shower on the 19th. There's a lot going on, planetarily speaking, on top of this alignment. So my guidance that I'm being given, and so you can use your own discernment for this. But what I'm getting is, don't make yourself fill in the blank. Don't make yourself do whatever it is that you're out of, that's not in alignment for you at this time. So if that has to do with your body doesn't want to eat right now, then why make it? You're going to be fine. No one's going to, like that's something that I've gotten throughout my life so often. You got to eat. You got to keep your strength up. That's a bunch of baloney. You'll eat when you need to. Your body knows what it needs. We do a rapid parasite cleanse naturally when we go into a fasting period. I know there are a lot of people who are totally against it and will often send me messages to try to tell me that it's bad for you. There's way too much personal experience and also scientific evidence to, underground science. I trust them more. Um, that shows what your body can do over periods of fasting. And to use your own discernment, to do what's correct for you. No one's saying that if you're not guided to do it, to do it. Don't do it if you don't feel like it. Um, yeah, so Leona's feeling nausea too. Um, and I think that, yeah, so also I'm not sure who I clicked on last. So there's a lot of that. A lot of everybody's feeling is, I am too. Like I don't have any desire to eat anything right now. At least it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon for me though. So we'll see. But the past couple of days I haven't. I've prepared meals, and I'm a mom. That's my job, and so that's just what you do. And I have a lot of leftovers because she's not eating really that much either. And we're well. We don't feel ill. It's just you just don't feel like it. Bit like Groundhog Day. It does feel a lot like it. It feels like we're redoing Y2K right now. It feels like it in a lot of different ways, except, it's 27 years later. Hey, what time is that GMT, please? I find this time zone thing tricky. What time is for I'm gonna look down and make sure I catch your answer to this, Pam, Ella, Jean. The time for what? Are you talking about when the planetary alignment's occurring? Because it is at sunset wherever you live. So everybody's time is different. Everybody's sun sets at a different time, based on the season you're in, the hemisphere you're on, and stuff like that. So, but it's just best to see just after sunset, and then you'll notice as the sun grows darker and darker that. So you follow the line of this at the setting sun. In fact, I have a screenshot of some information on that. I'll be try to look up while I'm talking. Here we go. I have this for the 25th. So this one is on the 25th, when it's all in its peak. So I can answer this question. So in Brazil, it'll be at 6:59 p.m. This is sunset. In Nigeria, it'll be 5:44 p.m. In New York City, it'll be 4:48 p.m. In Toronto, Canada, it'll be 4:53 p.m. In London, UK, it'll be 4:11 p.m. Sydney, Australia, it'll be 8:23 p.m. Mexico City, Mexico is 6:08 p.m. Dubai is 5:30 p.m. Hong Kong, China, 6:03 p.m. Athens, Greece, 5:15 p.m. Tokyo, Japan, 4:40 p.m. And New Delhi, India, 5:37 p.m. And so that's the different times. Of course, keeping in mind your local time. I know there's a lot of different time zones in all of those different countries that they had mentioned. I'm sure that wasn't all inclusive. I didn't see Russia mentioned, for instance. There's a lot of different countries that wasn't mentioned, but whatever your time zone is, it doesn't. Just keeping in mind when your sun sets, you can Google that, use any search engine, and type in when will the sunset for, and usually you'll have to find a larger area of the city that's closest to you, and then it'll tell you when the sun sets for your area. And it's really cool because then you'll see at the setting sun, so like right, in the west where the sun sets, and then up, it goes up from there, and it'll be a perfect line. It's going to be really cool. It supposedly lines up perfectly with Earth as well, outside of the sphere. But oh, there you are. I just gave you a big thank you. I wanted to tell you thank you so much for Chef Deb. That I am so blessed. Thank you so much for your donations. I really appreciate it. And I wouldn't be making it public if you didn't make it public. But you did. So I'm saying thank you very, very much. I noticed on the YouTube videos you posted, contributions, and I really, really appreciate it. You just changed this single mom's life, and so I just want to say thank you very, very much. Um, yeah, thank you. I'm gonna cry. Um, let's see. I got really behind. Uh, love Mila's codes. She just says so many like listening to ancient scripts. That's really cool. Yeah, we need to talk, Elsa, when we get a chance. I'm gonna have Elsa on at some point. Oh, by the way, um, come this Wednesday on the 22nd. I'm going to be going live an hour earlier than usual, and Guardian's coming on. I know a lot of you have been asking where he's at. He's going to be joining us. He might not, but it sounds like he will. It's going to be a really fun conversation. I'm super duper looking forward to it. I've been missing him. So he's just been busy. And so he'll be coming on Wednesday the 22nd. That will start at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that would be 11 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that would be, let's see, 7 p.m. UK. Oh, I'm not sure the rest of the time zones, but um, that would be like 9:30 a.m. Uh, Brisbane, I think. So wait, I think that's right. I might be wrong. No, I did that way wrong. That's not 9:30 a.m. See, okay, so it's not. It's like 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Brisbane. There we go. I was thinking the time zone for when I normally have my meditation group. Um, Purgeon, Spirit Tunes. Interesting, Elsa. Thank you for that code. Purging. Yep. We're having a global purge right now. Um, yeah, exactly. Because we are so sensitive, we feel the collective, and it seems really heavy lately. We need to see the humor more and have good belly laughs. Oh, oh, I'm totally yes. Hmm. Yeah, there's some super big shifts going on right now in the collective, and for us to um, uplift this and to release it. You can release by laughter. Yes, all the way. It's crazy. Crying is also a really super powerful spiritual technology that we utilize as well. It's really helpful. They crying and laughing have similar uh, um, results. The release that happens, the healing that can happen. It's really fascinating. That's one of the things that when I connect with spirit, they kind of look at it like almost not jealousy, but just like, man, that's so cool. You guys have that. They call it Pleiadian technology. So apparently, not everyone has that access to that. So Stephanie, yes, lots of purging from every level, such as detoxing, emotional purging, and also material items. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned material items. I forgot to mention that one. Purging from many levels and learning to let go. I've also been noticing that. It's crazy how much we're just like, because, I'm a minimalist, man. I really am. And I like not having a lot of stuff. And we somehow amass stuff, it's how it works when you have a child. And, people are so giving and awesome and loving that, and before you know it, you just have all this stuff, and she's at that age where people want to give her little kid stuff, and she doesn't like all that little kid stuff all the time. And so then you end up with this stuff because you don't want to throw it away. But you know what? There's no purpose for it, so it's got to find a different home. Um, and we notice that as we purge the physical material things around our vicinity, the more clear we feel, there isn't going to be an emergency reason to have that thing, even though we sometimes convince ourselves that it will. As we release these things, then our energetic sphere no longer feels overwhelmed by all the piles of crap, and then we can be at peace. So you're not the only one that's mentioned this. I had a conversation with a group of people a couple of days ago, and that was something else that was being talked about, was suddenly just wanting to get rid of all of their stuff. You know, as a lot of you know, I came here from we came all the way across the country. You know, it was quite a distance. And when we did that, we left almost everything behind. We brought 3 suitcases and 2 boxes with us, and everything else stayed. You know, and it was so freeing. It was so freeing to release all of that stuff, you know, and um, ever since that beautiful spiritual event that we had, experience that we had with that, you know, it's been easier and easier to let things go, you know. So anyway, I just wanted to thank you so much for bringing that up. I mean, Stephanie. Amanda, it is hard to find things to laugh at. I know we are okay and great even, but it feels like it would be almost wrong to laugh right now with how heavy it is. If you feel that way, there's also a different answer to that. Um, so this is my way of initiating, if I can't initiate some type of purge emotion, is I'll go and I'll find. YouTube is really good for these, but I'm sure they're all over the place and all kinds of different things. There's a whole bunch of different video streaming services now. YouTube specifically is what I use the most, and it is like random acts of kindness compilation style. So it's like a video that's like usually got, you know, anywhere between 15 minutes to an hour worth of people just being human to each other. And then I find myself bawling, crying with joy and with love and compassion. Just like ugly cry, you know, like the good kind of cry, like snot bubbles and everything. It's good stuff. It's so releasing. This initiates that flow, and it makes everything else easier, and it's easier to come by. So I would encourage you, if that's what your experience is, to utilize something like this. You know, I find that to be just the best way to initiate it anyway. So Laurel and Hardy movies do it for me. There you go. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, and I find I've always been that person though. Like, I am probably inappropriate a lot still. I've been called that throughout my life. And I don't feel like spirit, when I talk with spirit, there's no thee, thou, thy, there's no higher than or lower than thou and all this kind of stuff. It's there's swear words. And like there's this one blue lady that I connect with right now. I don't know what race she is. I just know she's blue and she's really funny. She's got this really cool, deep voice. She sounds almost Jamaican, but I know she's obviously not. But she just has this beautiful frequency in her voice. And she thinks it's so funny how people react when she drops an F bomb. Like she finds it to just so humorous. And I dig that about her because I feel the same way. It's just a word, but anyway, because of this, there's no reference with spirit. That was something that I believe was kind of put in place and misunderstood, because also when we talk to spirit on a higher frequency, you see them with your third eye and your crown chakra. So you bow a little bit so you can see better. It's like opening your eyes. And so I feel like that bowing got misunderstood for lowering yourself. You know what I mean? So that's just my 2 cents about that. But yeah, and so I kind of feel like laughing needs to happen, and if you can't laugh, then cry. Eventually you'll find yourself laughing through the tears. And one of the things that I've found that's been proven to be true, that I've experienced over and over again, is that when I can release something, then so too are others released. Others find this joy. Others find solace. They find relief, and so while doing this, I'm doing it at service as well. Initially, typically, my alchemy has to do with my own discomfort. I'm transmuting something because it sucks, and I don't want to be in something that sucks. You know what I mean? And while doing it, I'm transmuting this thing, and it then releases and relieves those who are also in, not having a great time because of it. It's service in the end of the day, so yeah, it initiates because I'm not happy with it. Like most of the stuff that I do has been because I don't want to be over here where it sucks. So I'm going to go over here by myself, like see you guys later. And then all of a sudden, like trickling in a little bit at a time, sometimes in larger groups, everyone comes over here. And I don't go over there with the plan that anyone's going to come, you know? Like I didn't expect any of this to happen. And, any of the things, it's been my life. It's always how it's been. People gather where I go. And I don't feel like there's any kind of ego with that. It's just, I follow the flow of spirit. And the flow of spirit, they also want everybody to laugh. When Jesus comes in, and I'm using the name Jesus, you can fill in whatever name feels correct for you. This is the one that people use the most. I can tell it's Jesus right away because I feel laughter on my chin. I know that sounds really weird, but that deep, weird laughter, that real intensely deep laughter that is like in your chin, that that's Jesus. And all the crap, that I think is a big problem and that I'm distracted by is gone. And all of a sudden I'm laughing and I'm feeling the laugh coming from my belly, like that deep belly laugh, like right in the minute. It just picks right up. So yeah, like if that's and it's not just the Jesus energy, it's a lot of these high frequency energies. They come in and they feel like laughter. That's what they feel like. And they also feel like celebration right now. Like they feel like if they drank, you'd be hearing a lot of pops right now because they'd be popping the bubblies. Like there is so much joy and celebration right now within the ranks of the spirit. We're finally here. We made it and we have surpassed expectations. It's pretty awesome. Groundhog in the Mila book. Ooh, yeah, I should probably look that up, Elsa. I'll take a picture of that for you guys and post it in Telegram. This is the book she's talking about. It's backwards. For some reason, I'm mirrored and I can't unmirror it. Pardon me. This is the book there you go. Medicine cards. I don't usually use the cards as much as I do the book. And it tells you it's totem animals. It's like, so you can also look it up online. And you can find the answer to any question that you have. Like the animals come and talk to us. They're teachers. Spirit guides is another way of explaining or understanding what animals are coming into your life for. And then you just kind of look up like in the contents or Google it. Use whatever search engine that you typically will use. And it'll tell you what characteristics they are and what they're trying to tell us. So Groundhog is also Groundhog Day is on February 2nd. So that's interesting. Punxsutawney Phil. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff about that. That's a good movie too. That's funny. I need to start wrapping this up, unfortunately. So I'm gonna scroll down and see if I can find. I think it was Pam Ella Jean that had a question, and I want to make sure I answered her question. I don't see her I didn't see her come back up. So yeah, okay, let's see. Wow, you guys have commented so much more than I expected. I've gotten a little ahead of or behind. I've been drinking my food a lot lately, says Joshua. Interesting. Making blends mostly, way more than I used to. That's for sure. Interesting. I'm feeling that too, really. I'm so feeling it. Just, I'd rather drink my food. Yeah, and like, like there's got to be, some alternative to what we've been doing food wise. Yeah, so some more nausea going on. She even puked last night. Excuse me. Oh, eyes. I saw something about Leona. Chef, my right eye is running as well and puffy. Charming, isn't it? Wait, because the chef dad said something about it. Right eye running, and never had that before. I've been having that with my right eye too. I'm so happy that someone mentioned it. I totally forgot about that. It was really getting inconvenient. It felt very distracting, and I was kind of rubbing it a little raw, just because. And it wasn't. It was a little bit sticky. It wasn't quite just water. Something was purging from that. Something was coming. Um, yeah, out. We're purging a lot of things. It's not just bathroom trips. It's not just mucus. It's also other kinds of things. Gratitude for showing us that many experience similar. It supports knowing it is so common. Trauma resurgence has been strong. Thank you, Karen, for mentioning that. Yeah, like it's just coming up to say, hey, it's time to heal it, release it, to let go of it. We no longer have to identify ourselves with it. Connecting with it and identifying with it doesn't assist us. It's not doing us any good. Yucky stomach and weird taste. Yeah, waste and taste. Miss Star Path, alien feelings. Yeah, dude. Hey, I've been on for 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds, and there was 101 people here. That's really cool. And as soon as I started saying it, of course, it changed the time. But um, yeah, the weird taste. Things just don't taste the same all of a sudden. Like, it's just all of a sudden, it's just something's different. Something's off about it. It just doesn't taste quite as good as it used to. I got the feeling that had to do with vacating parasites, that some of the things that we've just gotten used to thinking that tastes good, it was a receptor site thing related to parasites. I don't understand the science behind this. This is just what spirit told me, and it made sense. And what little I do understand about this, like I'm still kind of discovering and figuring out this whole parasite thing and how this works, and what to do to kind of assist ourselves. So yeah, very attractive to others. Yeah, like especially if you wear makeup. I wear eye makeup. I wear like mascara, and yeah, it does end up being like one of those emo kind of looking things. Voice recorder for dreams. Wow, such a great idea. It does really work. It really works. And then the parts that you've forgotten, or it's like the parts you've forgotten, like just fill in when you go back and listen to yourself talking. It's better than taking physical, like writing it down. Okay. Shelley wrote back to Pamela Jean. I'm in Nebraska and it's 3 p.m. here. Oh, so maybe she wanted to know what time it was. I don't know. I did want to help her out. Winds of change. Just full of air. Yeah, dude. That's funny that you guys are talking about that. That's actually a joke we've got going on in the house right now too. Between my daughter and I is crazy. and hey, that was just 327. 327 is significant for me because it's the 369, but it's also my birthday, March 27. And there's every time you see your own birthday, that usually is a reminder to be true to yourself, continuing to be true to yourself. What's funnier, what adds to the humor of this gas that a lot of us are having, is that in the throes of all of this, my daughter was digging through her books and she found a book that I don't know where it came from, but it's a book that's called Farts Across the World. And it's like one of those things where you like push a button and it makes a sound. And every page has got farts from a different part of the world. There's like Australian farts. We decided the Australian one sounded the most like our farts. I know. Really, probably inappropriate, but you know what? It's funny. A scary spice from the Spice Girls came to tell me I was going to break my family free from generational lack. Awesome. See? So exactly, whatever code or and there's code in that. There's code in who that person was for you at that time that you connected with Scary Spice, right? This particular individual, there's a reason for it being that person. There's some type of familiarity and comfort that comes in as well. Like they're more easily accepted and heard than someone with extra fingers or different color of skin than you're used to seeing. Like I like that the people that are blue look blue to me. I do. But that the first time, every time, the initiation of the conversation is always like, oh, you're blue. Like, and so sometimes it just makes the flow easier, you know. Lavender Sky Panther for voice recording dreams. This should still be on the market. There's a thing that looks like a pen, and it's a recorder that voice activates, not tied into the cloud or anything wireless. Awesome. Yeah, dude. All this smart stuff starting to get annoying, right? It's not that would be so much better. That sounds really cool. Oh, and there you are. The last 24 hours. Wow, incoming is blasting. Last time I checked, 5M flares since 9 p.m. yesterday. Thank you, Sherry. I actually was wondering. I knew that there was a bunch, but I forgot to count before I started. Nodes are shifting into new signs. I'm so hungry this afternoon. Everybody's got a different experience. That's really interesting that you're hungry. Like I'm really happy that you mentioned that because well, what about me? I'm actually eating more than ever before. Am I doing something wrong? And no, you're not doing anything wrong. It's exactly right for you. Some people actually eat more rather than fast during the windows of ascension increased stuff. Right now we're having this energetic balloon happening. It's swelling that's happening, and there are people who and on occasion I'm one of them. I never know which one I'm going to be until I'm there. So thank you very much for mentioning that. Trina, it's good to see you. I was going to say today is the 17th. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't even realize it was the 17th. I'm actually really glad that I went live for that purpose also, because that just tells me where I'm at. Because otherwise I wouldn't have written the date down for a couple of days and I probably would have completely lost the ability to know. So, excuse me. Vanessa says, I am drinking lots of tea. Bengal spice tea really helps the tummy. That's cool that it's the spice too, because it goes back to the scary spice. And 88 people in the chat. Awesome. Yeah, it's kind of fun between Facebook and YouTube. I actually don't. I think I can find out by clicking it. Yeah, it looks like there's 87 in the YouTube and 7 from Facebook right now. I also am just starting. I don't know if someone suggested that I start up a Twitch account. And so I think I'm going to be doing that too. So I'll stream simultaneously to Twitch. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. No music, but I do wake up with songs in my head a lot. They always make me laugh. That's awesome. Yeah, I get a lot of musical messages. Usually it's Archangel Sandalphon is talking when I'm getting the musical messages, 333 right now. And it's usually to do with, or it usually works out where I only hear remember, or one part of the song keeps playing like a broken record. And I'm not somebody who obsessively requires closure to complete the song, but it really gets old pretty fast for me when you keep hearing the same like 5 lyrics, you know what I mean? And it goes and goes and goes until I look it up, until I understand what the message is as being, what message is trying to be conveyed. One message I'm getting the most right now is, and we haven't watched the movie Aladdin in I don't know how long, but it's that one part when they're singing, and I'm not going to sing, don't worry. But it goes, it's a whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes. And then it starts again. It's a whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes. Over and over again. It's a whole new, like over and over and over and over again. And with that one, it's simply saying, we made it. We're here. The world is a whole new world. How are you going to make it be? What are you going to choose your world to be today? As a group consciousness, we are all choosing to take the reins back for manifesting the reality that we're existing within. And so choosing whatever reality you want is part of not closing your eyes, and also seeing it as a shift. As if when you get to see the shift as it occurs in a visual way, it's so validating. Like, because there's always that part of us, every one of us, I think, at some point, whether it be this week or a few months ago or last year, sometimes it's a daily experience for people. Some people have it more than one time a day. They call it imposter syndrome, where you start thinking, am I just crazy? Am I just, like not, on, like not really able to fully understand, what's really happening, what reality is, and so on and so forth. And no, it's real. It's really happening, and when we can see it shift like that in a visual, like right in front of you way, it's a way to help. It's a way to help you to no longer live in this imposter syndrome way. So, anyone tried laughing yoga before? Yeah. That's what I alluded to it if I didn't mention it. Laughing yoga is so cool. I discovered it back in 1999. That was where Y2K came up. What it is, it's really super cool. All you do is you just need a couple of people there, really. You can go to facilities where they have regular meetings and stuff, and you can also replicate this at home. If you have enough people around, you can do it on Zoom. Is it one person initiates the laughing, and there's always somebody really good at that. I'm somebody who's really good at starting laughing too. Everybody's got their own little thing, and then eventually everyone joins in. Like, it's one of those things where you just can't not laugh too. They can't help it, and then after a while, everyone forgets why they're laughing and they just start laughing, and you don't stop. Typically, it's about an hour long. You could do it for longer or less time. There have been all kinds of studies about it that have shown that people with hypertension, people with a variety of different, physical ailments, cardiac related, respiratory related, all kinds of stuff, become resolved within a month. And these individuals had only gone to 2 sessions. At that time, they had gone to groups that were doing it once every other week. So anyway, it's super awesome. There's also some ancient information about it. There were 3 monks. I believe they were Taoists, but I don't recall for sure. I probably said it wrong, but who knows? There were these 3 monks, and they would travel from town to town. And they would do just that. They would start to laugh at each other. And then as they started to laugh, they'd get so into it. They'd start laughing so much that no one knew why. They were laughing at people laughing. They couldn't help it. So then they started laughing. And before you knew it, after a while, the whole town was laughing. And then so on and so forth. Then healing began. People's lives changed, after that. Each day that they did it, their lives improved. It's really neat. So, look it up. There might be a regular meeting in your local area. If you don't, I encourage you to initiate one yourself, whether it be with, your neighbor or your family or, something like that. It's really helpful. So, I saw, here we go. Beam of light, rashes all over. So this is another side effect of purging. A lot of us are purging through the pores. And when we purge through the pores of our body, we will notice that it'll interact with our skin. The solution to this is to use, if you can bathe, some people can't. Epsom salt in your bath really helps. Light exfoliation, if you don't have a bath or a way to soak, you can also get like a washcloth and have a damp washcloth and lightly like touch it onto some Epsom salt and then kind of scrub your body like an exfoliator. This also really helps. This is also, there's something else too. A lot of us don't realize, and kind of been taught to do this, but our body requires oil, and you can use really any oil. There are definitely better oils than some, but like I just use olive oil, and it's a good kind of olive oil. And after I shower or bathe, then I'll also put a little bit of olive oil all over. And this actually really helps. It eliminates a lot of stuff that's kind of left behind. It's weird. I know it sounds very odd. When I first heard that, I was like, "What?" Like it just seems so like the contrary. Like the whole point of taking a shower was to get rid of all that oil, right? So anyway, um, yeah, so cool. No plan. Yeah, dude. Quiver laugh. I saw that. Yes. I have to wrap this up. Oh, hey, look, there's Diamond Heart 88. Just for laughs, kid videos, kitty funny, animal funny videos make you laugh. Yeah, dude. It's good to see you. Um, yeah, if anybody didn't get it, see it. There's a cool, awesome show with Diamond Heart 888 and her partner. I always forget the. I just want to say husband and wife. I'm not very good at remembering to say partner. Anyway, but there was a really awesome show that we had on Wednesday, so you can go back and see the replay if you want. If you this it was a really uplifting conversation, and at one point, Charmony led us in this breathing exercise that brought in the love and released the not love, and it was really awesome. So it was really cool. Very awesome, very beautiful conversation that we had. So if anyone gets a chance, I encourage you. Oh, cool. Saint Germain does that for me. That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of different names or words for the same things. And that's what the Tower of Babel is all about, right? Yeah, it's a thing, Elsa. February 2nd is Groundhog Day. There's a whole thing about it. It's a whole celebration. Punxsutawney Phil. There's a movie called Groundhog Day that he's actually at the celebration with Bill Murray. He's actually at the celebration they're waiting for this particular groundhog to come out and see if it has its shadow, can see its shadow or not. And I don't remember if he sees a shadow, it's like 6 more weeks of winter, or it's early spring. I can't remember which one's which, if he sees his shadow or not. But anyway, yeah, it's a whole, it's silly. Yeah, it's a thing. Um I was talking about the Tower of Babel, and but yeah, so I heard laughter is the same frequency as God. That makes so much sense, Mary. That makes so much sense to me, because it does. These higher frequency energies, when they come in, they feel like laughter. They feel like that belly laughter, your chin rattling. That just it's like, and it's a deep belly laugh, like that. That laugh that it takes a while to get to. Like you have to like pick up your momentum of laughing to get there. They come in, and it's like you're there. It's crazy. It's really interesting. Acacia says, "Thank you. It's lovely to know we are all going through similar. Much love to all. Thanks for the giggles, Aussie farts." Yeah, it's so funny. I was like, whoa. Yeah, I should probably wrap this up. We've been on for an hour and a half. This has been a really fun chat. Just a reminder to all of you, we're not doing the group Zoom meeting today. We had a vote, and there were more people voting for Wednesdays to do our group Zoom meetings. on the regular 22-hour fasting is my thing now. Interesting. I'll have to look into that. Thank you. And so we are still going to be doing Wednesdays, or excuse me, Fridays, just not as regular as before. I've been my daughter would like to have the evenings, one of those 2 evenings she kind of wanted to have with me, and so I was like, well, we can just kind of switch it around a little bit. And I've been doing Friday night Zoom meetings since February 2022, so it's kind of exciting to me to have Friday night off. Like, it's like, it doesn't matter, I guess, but the day of the week doesn't really matter, but it's kind of exciting to have it. So we're going to have that for now. So you will see us for sure on Sunday for our normal live Q&A. I'll be here doing the normal live Q. Break the record for the normal live Q&A, but and then also I'll be going live on Wednesday with Guardian on the 22nd. That particular show will be an hour earlier than normal. So instead of starting at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for instance, it'll start at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's just because he's in Romania, and the time, I think it's like 9 p.m. when we'll be starting for him. So that way that, it accommodates him, works out a lot better. So much love from Sanctuary. Thank you, Omega 333. Good to see you. I love you all. I would stick around longer. I do need to get going. Keeping in mind that 100%, the 17th is today. For whatever hemisphere you're on, today's the day where the energy shift is like in full clunk, in full swing. And so allowing yourself to be aware of this will give you the ability to know that you're not crazy, you're not alone, and to be more aware of your body's needs. It talks to you, it tells you what it doesn't want, it also tells you what it does. So allowing yourself to kind of tune into your body a little bit more. Oh, that's a good idea, Elsa. Maybe show on Groundhog Day. Let's see. I don't know what day that is of the week. We'll have to check, because that's on Sunday. So that day, I don't know if I'll be able to do that day. But yeah, I won't be able to do that day. I'm sorry. Too much going on that day. That's interesting, though. I'll have to look into this and see if we can make it work. Maybe it'll be on Groundhog Day for you. So anyway, we will and then for sure we're going to be doing our regular Zoom meeting on Wednesday after the live show. That will start at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 2 hours earlier than we normally do on Fridays. So in order to find the time for your local time zone, all you got to do is type in any search engine on the internet, type in 4:30 or just 4 p.m. and then it'll tell you, and you can just add the 30-minute part. 4 p.m. Central to, and then whatever your time zone is. And then it'll give you a response, and you can see in the search there that it tells you what your time would be for your time zone. And then we'll be, doing our regular 2 hours on Wednesday then. So I am sending you all so much love. Know that you're not alone. A little bit more peace in your quiet space, that if you can, allow yourself to just, pull back and to be in your peace, your bliss, as much as possible, even if that means that you need to take more trips to to the bathroom just to kind of get quiet. I will. Thank you, Chef Deb. Tell your daughter much love to Mila. Thank you. I will. That was beautiful. And if you can meditate, a lot of people don't choose to meditate that frequently, but if you can, taking that time. Again, remembering that if you don't have access to these, it's okay. But we also offer All of our group meditations, our guided meditations are free, and the the Telegram group is free. The link for that is in the description of this video. If you want to join our group, there's over 500 people from all over the planet. So there's always somebody awake. So it's really cool, and they're free. So they can really help you at this time during this intense energy, and know that spirit is coming in with celebration energy. They're excited. They're super excited. And so it's good. It's good. And I just love all of you. I'm just noticing everybody saying goodbye and how much love. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me on this spontaneous random live. And I will see you in a couple of days.